This used to be a cafe, did it?
It was a cafe, and Matisse rented a room above it. Now it's an estate agent's.
This was the window that he opened and...
Yeah, this is the room that he rented in Collioure for the summer. And it's from here that he painted the open window.
The first thing that strikes me is that you look out, it doesn't look anything like that painting. He transformed what he saw.
The colours become elements that he can arrange on the canvas without reference to what's out there in reality, and those colours can then sing together.
Van Gogh's generation had started to free colour from simply imitating what we see. But no one had gone anything like as far as Matisse.
So you've brought along this colour wheel, and it looks very pretty, but what is it? What does it tell us about Matisse?
Well, this is the colour wheel that Matisse himself knew. It's put together in the 1830s by a scientist called Chevreul, who'd investigated the way the human eye sees colour. Complementary colours simply meant two colours from opposite sides of the wheel. So green was the complement of red, orange was the complement of blue. What had happened with the preceding generation of painters, to Matisse, they'd become very interested in this. And the colour combination that they'd become particularly interested in was yellow and blue. What Matisse does is to move around the colour wheel. So instead of working primarily with yellow and blue highlights, he starts working with green and red. As they're put together on the canvas, they jar. He very quickly becomes the #1 bad boy of French painting. All of the critics know his work. They all know they don't like it, but they know they have to take him seriously. They have a sense that this is where painting is going in the future.
Next, the bad boy produced an extraordinary portrait of his wife, Amélie. Its primitive simplicity and impulsive strokes of jarring, ferocious colour were another attack on the traditional rules of painting. Matisse was rubbished for painting like a fauve, French for wild animal. His next creation wasn't only dazzling and primal, it was vast, nearly 10 feet across. Over the next 5 years, his paintings continued to push the boundaries of form and colour by portraying an emotional response to reality rather than merely replicating the external world. Most French collectors considered Matisse a lunatic, but luckily for his bank balance, a Russian textile magnate began buying up his work in bulk. To find out more, I've come to St. Petersburg.
Matisse came here to Russia in 1911. He was invited by one of his great patrons, the super-wealthy Moscow industrialist Sergei Shukin. Shukin was quite a mysterious, larger-than-life character. He was just loaded with cash, and he used to travel the world searching for objects of great beauty. He was really into contemporary art, a bit like Charles Saatchi of his day. In 1906, he bought his first Matisse. I'm on my way now in this boxy Russian taxi to meet a writer who knows more than anyone else about Shukin. His biographer, Natalia Semenyova.
He was one of the richest men of Russia. He was a wealthy textile businessman. He was one of the most interesting figure in Moscow culture life of the beginning of the century.
Is this his house? This is his palace?
Yes, it's his palace.
Is it all Matisse?
All Matisse. It was Matisse Salon. It was one story that when he invites somebody and show his Matisses, the old merchants say, one madness paint them and another madness buy them.
One madman painted them and another madman bought them?
Yes. He bought 37 pieces of Matisse. Now we could say that he was the greatest art collector of the 20th century. Nobody compares with Shukin.
Today, most of Shukin's collection has ended up here, at the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg. It's the most breathtaking art gallery in the world. Before the Russian Revolution, this was a palace for the Tsars. Now, it's home to art the communists liberated from the ruling class. This is the centrepiece of the museum's Matisse collection. 2 vast paintings he made for Shukin in 1910.
I find these 2 works on either end of this room, music to my left and dance to my right, utterly, utterly astonishing. They're just like nothing else you see in a museum ever. I mean, look at this. It's got so much energy bound up with the paint. It's a painting about the joy of just being alive. These people are stamping, they're dancing, they're whirling. Out of something so simple, just using 3 basic colours, he summons this intense vision, which is just enormous.
Simple, almost childish figures, blazing, unrealistic colour. At first, even Shukin was horrified, and so was everyone else.
When they were first shown in Paris in 1910, people thought, what on earth are we looking at? It was just simple barbarism. They mocked the tones of the flesh and said, look at Matisse's lobster men frolicking amongst the spinach. They felt that these paintings violated everything that anyone had ever established within art history about beauty, about order, about clarity, and about harmony. What Matisse recognised is that colours don't work in isolation. They always work in terms of how they interact with those around them. Matisse once said that he wanted all his colours to sing together. He wanted the effect to be like a chord in music.
Many other Matisse paintings from this time are also big and shockingly bright. They eventually came to the Hermitage after Shukin's collection was confiscated by the communists in 1918. But later, the Russian dictator Stalin banned the lot as he found Matisse decadent. And nobody saw them for decades.
Shukin once wrote to Matisse, he said, "The public is against you, but the future is yours." And having seen the paintings here, you just cannot doubt that he was absolutely right.
These works have inspired countless other painters to use colour to explore and express their inner emotions, rather than simply imitate the physical world. Among them is one of Britain's foremost abstract artists, Albert Irving, who I've come to meet.
Hello.
Hello.
You must be Albert.
Hello.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Well, look at this one. Glorious colour. This must be influenced by Matisse.
Yes, you've spotted it immediately. He's meant a very great deal to me. When I first started painting abstract paintings, it had to be dark. Rembrandt was gone, and all great art was dark brown. Matisse revealed how you can assemble high-key colours and make an important painting. You're courting danger with primary colours because you're likely to finish up with the thing looking like a disco.
So you always paint like this, do you, on the floor?
Not on the floor, on these tins. Like Jamie Oliver, isn't it?
Chuck in a bit of water.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This has been a splash.
Colour kind of changes, it becomes quite luminous. There's a lot of energy in that.
I like to think so, yeah. Up now.
I think Matisse would be rather pleased.
It would be nice if he was. Giving me his blessing.
And today, it's not only artists who appreciate how brilliantly Matisse balanced colour and complex patterns.
Welcome to lots of textile and colour and pattern.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I'm meeting Trisha Guild, founder of home furnishing company, the Designers Guild.
Matisse would have been like a kid in a sweet shop. This feels like the interior of one of his paintings, I think.
In this painting, which seems completely balanced and calm, you know, there's fabric on the walls, patterned carpet, another patterned rug, and then these 2 children in a gorgeous
Exactly
little
like this,
stripe.
yeah.
But the whole effect is harmonious.
I can't quite work out how he manages to make such disparate things cohere.
If you just use masses of colour without any relief, without black, white or neutral organic colours, it becomes too much. I mean, if we look at all these very strong colours and use them with some black and white, suddenly they're more balanced and at the same time more alive. And that's something that Matisse did. Nearly every painting you will see black and white. Since I was a child, it's always Matisse that I look at. You know, it opens a world somehow. And I always felt if I could do that in my work, then I would feel really good about it. When you're really pushing for something extra special, it's not easy, but easy's boring. We don't do boring.
So Matisse inspired brighter colours in our homes, and also modern art that uses colour to convey emotion. His art is a response to life, portraying his feelings about the world around him. Experience was always at the core of Matisse's work, and travel never failed to inspire him. He was a great one for sending postcards home from the places he visited. Here he is writing home from Tahiti. And here he is swimming. He spent weeks diving underwater, amazed by what he saw. Here he is in 1912, on a horse in Morocco. And here's the cafe where he sketched the violinist and played to the customers himself. And here are the locals having a smoke. And here's the painting it became, the Moroccan cafe, two faceless men watching two goldfish by a flower.